All right, and welcome to A Dash of Reading. Be bringing Amber on here in just a moment. But I want to thank you all for coming out on a Sunday afternoon, Sunday before Thanksgiving. I hope everybody has a wonderful, wonderful holiday this and gets to spend plenty of time with their family and friends. But we're waiting for Amber to come on, and we'll be good to go. And there they are, and we're going to get. Oh,
Hi.
hello. All right, welcome to A Dash of Reading. I'm your host, Dash. This is the co-host, Amber, and we're going to be talking today about The Nightingale by Kristin Hannah. How you been?
I've been good. Real
Good,
good.
good.
Busy, but a good busy.
Got your TikTok adventures going on. I am a fan. I have to say I'm
What
a
can
fan.
I say? I'm gonna be a star.
You are a star. You already are a star. It's one of my daily
It
things
is
to get a good laugh.
it's a lot of fun. It's just a fun way to be creative. So
Absolutely. I enjoy them. And I literally, people think that I posted a picture of a fake. I literally went out and bought a TikTok for Dummies book because I wanted to learn how to do TikTok. So if you see that picture, it's really a picture that of a book that I actually
that's
bought.
funny. So I think I could probably use that book. And I'm not trying to get. I'm not. You're like pushing a brand. I'm just a mom that's just doing it for fun. But really, you just need to start doing them.
Yeah.
Just do them.
That's what everybody says. I still want to. I want to make sure I don't look. I mean, not you. I'm not saying you look foolish, but I know that I would look foolish. So.
I look totally foolish, and I am okay with it.
Yes,
It's okay.
but I love them. I love them. Like I said, every day
Thank you.
I get to watch them, and it's fun to see what you come up with next. So I appreciate that.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to talk today about The Nightingale, and I'm probably going to go against the status quo here, and I'm probably going to have the unpopular opinion about this book. From most of the reviews that I've read, I'm going to have an unpopular opinion about this book. So, obviously, it's set in World War II in France, occupied France, if you will, all the way through until it sounds like D-Day, or excuse me, VE Day, and
Mm-hmm.
got some great. I mean, some characters, obviously, two sisters. Rivals, if you will, for the most part, but fond love for each other, if you will. Vianne and Isabel. If you have not read, there's going to be spoilers, so please turn off now or wait till later. But Vianne, I guess I'm saying her name right, Vianne or Vianne, and Isabel.
I said Vianne.
Yeah, I said Vianne as well. So, um, uh, before we get into what we liked, what we disliked, and everything, I, I, I don't know if I will read this author again. Is what I'm getting at. Some bad character development. You have one character that's one way until right that she needs a way to progress the book. She has one character that changes just so she can progress the book, which I think was not needed. I'm talking about Captain Beck of the changed his character. He was all the way up through. He was this nice, and that's believable to me. I can believe that there were very good officers and not so very good officers. I can believe that.
Yes.
But that upset me, and we'll get more into that here in a minute. Is there anything that you found besides the character development?
Well, so just so you know, there's like a glitch. There's like a delay for you. So I didn't catch the last thing. What did you ask me a question? Are we still talking about Beck? Did you ask me a question about Beck?
I was like, besides Beck, I mean, I think you felt that was a bad writing. What was it for you that you found bad
you're
about
right. Beck, actually liked Beck and Vianne's relationship at the beginning. I do think it was very believable. I think there were a lot of just regular German soldiers thrown into this. Are totally different than von Richter at the end, the SS officers. That's a whole different ballgame. So the fact that Vianne and Beck had developed this relationship was very, very believable for me. It was all above board. There was like some intimacy without being physical. You know, Vianne just needed to make sure her kid was fed and safe, and she was lonely, and I totally get that. So when Isabel had the airmen in the basement or cellar or whatever, I feel like Vianne could have talked to Beck about that. I think she overreacted in hitting him the way she did. I think she could have explained to him, and he would have understood. I mean, look what he did for Rachel. He was like, "You need to leave." There, you know, he knew she was going to be deported. And he was like, "You need to leave." So I think, I don't understand. I know. Okay, yeah. Disclaimer, I don't like Kristin Hannah. I think she's a very overrated author. This is the second book of hers I've completed. It's the fourth book of hers I've tried to read. And just, I think she has good ideas. I think this storyline idea is really good. Isabel's based on a true character. I think she has bad writing skills. Yeah. I think she needs help in the writing department.
I agree. And my problem with this was, like I said, like you were talking about, Captain Beck was nice. You could obviously tell there was mutual admiration, mutual affection for each other. But for him to change on a dime, like you said, he helped Rachel. He helped her to find a way to hide. So for him to be all upset about one airman and to change his attitude 180 degrees, I was just, I'm like, you just destroyed his character development. You just took what was a wonderful character, at least in my eyes, a wonderful character, and you just made him crazy to drive your story along. And I felt that was just, I didn't get it.
If I could defend Kristin Hannah for anything, on anything about that, is that I guess by this time the war is going badly for Germany. And so maybe there was a lot of tension and Beck was just really feeling it. But I just didn't think it was realistic. I don't think Vianne needed to kill him or hit him on the head. And I don't think he needed to die.
All right. Yeah, I agree. So let's get into it. What did you like best about the book overall?
So overall, I love World War II. I think we talked about this last time. World War II stories are some of my favorite. I have some girlfriends that are like, "Oh my gosh, I never want to read a World War II story again." I will never say that. I love that time period. I really like Vianne and her storyline. So I was kind of bored with Isabel. Like a lot of my problems I have with Isabel's storyline. But Vianne, and I think it's because I can relate to that. I'm a Navy wife, and so being left all the time, and I understood Vianne and the decisions that she made over time. So I thought that was good. I thought that was a very realistic storyline. Not the Beck part, but just Vianne and her decisions and what she did. I thought was very well done.
Right. I liked. Again, I'm right there with you. I like that it was a World War II book, not just dealing with Americans. I like that it was in occupied France. I like to get, when we were in high school, I got to go to Paris with French class and enjoy and see some of these sites that they're talking about. So I loved that. I mean, that to me was the best part, was it being in occupied France. Where and your main characters are French, and you're dealing with and lots of stories about the French resistance out there. So, and yes, I like that it was based off of a true or a real person. I think you and I are going to disagree on Vianne. I felt that she angered me. She angered me to the point where I didn't even want anything to do with her anymore. And maybe
tell me.
Maybe for me, it's because I'm on the opposite side of a spouse. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I felt like she at first didn't put up enough, to give the list to Captain Beck, because I felt like she just rolled over. I felt like she rolled over way too easily. I felt like she rolled, whereas I'm an Isabel. I mean, there's some things I had problem with Isabel's story, but overall, I was more for Isabella than I was for Diane. But yeah, Diane angered me. I mean, you can ask my wife. I was laying in their bed going, this woman angers me to the point where I'm just ready to scream.
So that's going to be a personality thing then, I think, because I would have been like, oh, you just want a list? Oh, it's okay. They're just making a list. What harm can come from that? I just need to make sure my kid is fed and nobody is raping me and beating me on a daily basis. Like, that's where and I'm not even thinking about that. Isabel drove me crazy. I was totally with Diane. You need to shut up because you're going to put us in danger, and I don't really care how you feel about what's going on out there. We'll do it somewhere else. So that's just got to be our personality being different.
And not that, I mean, hindsight's 2020, obviously. Like, had we not had the history and knowing of what we did know of World War II, I mean, I can understand, but I think hindsight and knowing from a different perspective, and that's what made her a good. I mean, not that she's a horrible character, and by any means is Diane a horrible character, but it just angered me to the point where I was just like, wow. But again, there's a lot more hindsight in it than there is, obviously.
Yes. Yeah, you know the end game. You know what that's going to do. You know what that list is going to do, and I don't want to touch on this. We kind of talked about current events a little bit, and so I'm like, you want me to prove my medical status? That seems harmless. Okay. But is it really harmless in a year from now? I don't know. So maybe hindsight 2020 makes you a little more angry because you know what that led to.
But at the, she kind of obviously, she redeemed herself, and at least in my eyes, she redeemed herself as the story went on, which is, we'll get to that here in a minute. But yeah, and we did talk about this. I liken it to certain current events that are going along, and I think that is what angered me a little bit as well, because and by all means, if you hear this, I'm trying not to be political or anything about this, but I can literally see this in today's atmosphere and what is going on today. I could see people like this doing exactly what Diane did if this was going on now.
Yeah.
I could see people in our American culture doing exactly what she did. So I don't want, again, I'm not going to get off on a tangent. We spoke about that offline. So what did you dislike the most about this?
I think that as far as Isabel goes, there was, like with Beck, the character development was wrong, but I felt like Isabel's stories, I felt they needed a little more meat. I could have used a little more info of her actually walking over the mountains with the airmen. It just seemed too simplified for me. Her getting kicked out of boarding school at the beginning for the whole orange fiasco was just stupid. Just come on, lady, come up with a different scenario. Like maybe she got caught making out with the chef or something. You know what I mean? Like, just come on. Yeah. I just feel like for Isabel being based on a real character and a real woman, I wish I would have written down her name. That could have, I just don't think that was fleshed out enough. There was not enough meat to that story, which was a really interesting story. That and that's why she could do it, because nobody believed that a 20-year-old girl could guide these airmen over the mountains into Spain. What a hero, right? I could have used more. I do think, as far as Isabel, the scenes in the concentration camp at the end were very well done, and I just wonder if it's because I've been to a concentration camp. I've toured Dachau 3 times, because every time someone came to visit us in Germany, we had to go to a concentration camp. So I could just imagine that in my brain. I think she did do a good job with the concentration camp scenes, but just Isabel's story, just there wasn't enough there for me.
Yeah, yeah. Again, I like Isabel was great. I think there was 100 pages too long in this book. There could have cut. To me, I think, and I know, like we talked about, it was based off a true character, but you could have ended. To me, you could have ended her story in either before the concentration camp or in the concentration camp of killing her off, because she was already the hero that we wanted. She had already done, what was it, 29 trips or so. But to me, she took her from a hero to try to make her a superhero by outlasting everything. Because, and this is Dash's opinion, the moment the dad came in to tell the German officer that he was the Nightingale and they were going to kill him anyways, the minute that she opened her mouth and said, no, I'm the Nightingale, after she had just lied for 3 days straight to this guy, they wouldn't have put her in a concentration camp at that point. With a political prisoner, they would have killed her. So, and I think that would have, to me, that would have given her more semblance. To sit there and die with her dad, that would have given her more semblance and bigger. I don't know. That's just me. Because after that point, because Gaetan, I didn't need to know about the love story. That was pointless. This story was about a woman who was going against all odds to rescue these airmen and deliver papers and whatever she was doing for the resistance. So that to me was the worst part. I felt like it was.
And women, to be a powerful story, it doesn't always need to be a romance. It really doesn't. Right. And that frustrated me. It's like I felt like the author brought her home out of the concentration camp, maybe to make up with her sister. I mean, her and Vianne seemed to come to an understanding, but the whole, what was his name? Gaetan? I don't even know how you say it. I just didn't like it. I felt like that was unnecessary, for sure.
Yeah. I mean, I'm already, Kristin, you already had me with her being this strong character who was, again, risking her life, going over the Pyrenees and taking 29 trips. You had me. You don't need to reel me in with some part-time love story that really didn't, I mean, it gave her some sexy time. I get it, but I didn't need that in a World War II.
So what did it
book?
Yeah, like I don't feel like it did anything for her character. Like it didn't add to Isabel's personality or her character, who she was. I mean, my God, to be 20 years old and to lead airmen up over the mountains, what'd you say, 29 times? We did not need the boy.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Agreed. All right, who was your favorite character? I think we've already established, I'm pretty sure, but.
It's Vianne. Yeah, just because I relate to her so much. She just kept the home fires burning the best that she could. She did the best she could. I do think at the end where she chose not to tell her husband that the baby was von Richter's, I probably would not have made that decision. Just, I'm not a very good secret keeper. I probably would have said something. But yeah, I just liked her.
Would that have changed the outcome had she told him?
Maybe, because Julian probably would have grown up knowing. Maybe, because I don't know if Antoine would have left, and then Julian would have grown up knowing that he was the son of an SS officer, and so then you wouldn't have had their whole relationship of. And I also don't understand why she never told anybody about it. But I've never been through anything that traumatic either. I mean, my kids get tired of hearing the story how I was prom queen. I mean, I bring that up all the time, at least like once a year. I'm thinking if I saved Nazi children, I would have been like, guess what I did? So You know, I don't
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
understand why she was so
Yeah.
quiet about it. But you're right. It probably would have changed the dynamics of how Julian was raised.
Somewhere deep inside of me, Antoine knew something. He had to have known a little bit or something.
Maybe. Yeah.
And I think, at least the way I read
Yeah,
that passage,
I'm guessing
where he's
Julie.
like, don't.
Okay.
Well, my favorite character by all is obviously, I mean, there's really three characters that we could talk about, but Isabella was my favorite. Isabel, and probably because, as you can relate to Vianne, I can relate to her being the, wanting to go out there and fight and protect and man, just to sneak through occupied lines and occupied towns and do what she did to find these houses and then get over the Pyrenees.
Yeah.
Again, she sold me, and Kristin sold me on that character again, and I felt up to that point, like I said, I would have even felt more for her had she goes down in that glory with her father by his side as being outed as the Nightingale, because you've already won my heart with her. You're going, she's done all this. So that final moment, because she was defiant in everything. She was defiant to her boarding houses. She was defiant to her sister. She was defiant to her father. Make it that let her go out as a defiant, awesome, badass character that she was.
That's true. That is true. Instead, yeah, you're right. She goes out. She does not go out in a blaze of glory. So, yeah, I get it.
Yeah. Again, it was just that I think that these certain things where you kind of just, where Kristin lost her character development, at least to me, I just seen character development go, I got to draw this story out another 100 pages. So here's what I'm going to do. That's the way I felt.
She's just a very simplistic writer.
Yeah.
She needs a lot more depth. Again, her story ideas are really good. She's got good ideas. She just doesn't flesh them out very well. And her writing, like, I think there are only two flowers that grow in France, and those are jasmines and roses, and there was no other flower. Like, come on, lady.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, another thing that bothered me. Yeah. The other thing that bothered me is I understand that they're talking in French and she doesn't want to write French words and French this and French, but it just seemed like every time that she had to put a French word in there, mon Dieu, mon Dieu, mon. I get it. I just continue right. Don't even put that in there. Don't even put, because we already know that they're talking in French.
Right. Yes.
So you don't need to go, oh, mon Dieu, to give us, French. All right. You know one French word. Good on you, Kristin. Good job.
Right.
There with so I really wouldn't know how to. I wouldn't really know how to cast this. I only have two cast members because other than, well, I take that back. I have three cast members that I want in this movie. Whether you didn't think about it or not, for me, Rachel Weisz is Vianne.
Yeah.
I want Michael Fassbender. Michael Fassbender is Captain Beck. And then Hermione, I'll think of her name here, Emma Watson. Emma Watson is Isabel. That's
okay.
That's my group for starring.
Who's Michael Fassbender?
He played Magneto in the new X-Men movies. If you've seen any of the new X-Men movies, he was Magneto. He was
I'm terrible at this game.
He was in, he's been in a lot of things. He's been in Inglourious Basterds. He's been in band of brothers.
Is he blonde? Because I feel like Beck is your typical Aryan,
Yeah,
blonde hair, blue-eyed German.
Yeah, he's of German descent, anyways, German-Irish descent. But the character,
Okay.
like up until that craziness there, that going after the airmen, I just think he plays the perfect Captain Beck. He's got the mannerisms. You could see him being the authentic and having a heart and having that character where he shows a little bit of affection to Vianne, and that's just what I mean, the moment I started reading Captain Beck, I was like, I like this dude. I mean, I understand that he's German. I understand what went on in World War II, but she actually got me to like him until that stupid character crap.
Yeah.
So
I liked him too, and then he's talking about his wife and his baby that's not going to know him, and well, I have no picks for you because I just
that's okay.
I'm not I don't know. Okay. And in my brain, I'm always the main girl. So Vianne was me. I'll play her.
No, that's fine. That's totally cool. I get it. And what could you relate with? And I think we kind of, you talked about it. Other than Vianne and her being the military spouse, what else could you relate with in this?
Just that survival instinct that they all seem to have. Not that I relate to. I wonder if I have it. I think we might have talked about this last time too. I have some girlfriends and we talk about if the zombie apocalypse happened, would we survive? And I'm like, I got about 3 days. And to be honest, if my husband dies, I'm probably dying a couple hours later because Eric's gonna have to make sure I can survive. I live. So I think that's one reason why I love this time period too, is just what these people, this generation did to survive, to make sure they got to the end. And you can see it in Isabel too, right? What was she chanting in the concentration camp? Stay alive, stay alive, stay alive.
Stay alive.
I don't know. I did love that. And I would love to channel that. And I often wonder how I would handle life in a situation like that.
Oh man, I think I can relate with the dad the most. Overall, I can relate with Julian, the dad, because of how he felt coming home. And again, I mean, and we talked about this even in the Blind Tiger and things of that. It's just the coming home, and there's a moment, and if you've ever watched Hacksaw Ridge, there's a moment where Andrew Garfield and his dad, I can't remember, Hugo Weaving, are sitting in the cemetery, and you can just see the pain and the weariness on his face of how he had to deal with. He was in World War I, obviously, in that movie, but you could see the pain and what it felt and what it did to him. And I'm not saying I'm grieving, but I feel what he felt. Like, he lost people, and he went there and he stood up for France during the First World War, and to come home, and it was just a different feeling, and he was trying to, and then to lose his wife, and it just shut him down. I mean, I don't know. It's kind of like you said, if Eric wasn't around during the zombie, I don't know what I would do now if Lorena, I mean, it would just be, she's kind of helped me through a lot of my stuff as well. And so, man, I don't know. And I think I can relate to that a little bit on the.
So, listening to you talk, it made me think something interesting. So you have Vianne in her little world, right? And she's got Sophie and Beck, and they're all in Caribou, or however you say that town. And then you've got Isabel, and Isabel's the bigger picture. She's fighting for all of France. She's doing the big picture things. Well, that's how I am. That's a lot of my personality and who I am, is I can concentrate very much on what's going on right in front of me. So Eric and I, when we do the budget and stuff, I'm the one who pays the bills every payday. I don't even know, he probably can't tell you how much our electric bill is, right? You know, so I do all of that little stuff. But Eric does the big picture. Eric's like, where are the investments? Where are the savings? What's, you know, what are we going to do with this much money? You know, and so that's how we work. So it seems like because you're a veteran, you have that bigger picture mentality of what you fight for. Whereas I've always just been left at home. So my world is very small.
Yeah, and that's kind of, I mean, it's kind of, it worked out that way for us to even be able to talk about this, because it is like in the last one we were pretty much on the same page, but this we get to, I think people get to see the different perspective from you being a military spouse to me being a military veteran. And but the amount, I mean, not that you didn't, you, like you said, it's a small world, but you had just as many sacrifices, and Vianne had just as many sacrifices as Antoine and as Eric and as I. You know, the spouses have, and I think you got a little bit. And I respected that part of the book about Vianne was, you know, here I understand. I'm going to take care of my kids any way possible, and I'm going to protect them any way possible. Just, like I said, some of the things that she did was, I was like, oh, but yeah. But I love that the different aspects that and even the people that are watching get to see about.
I'm sorry, there's like a little glitch, and we're having a thunderstorm, so I don't know if my power is like glitching. I don't know what's happening over here. It's probably me. But you know, overall I gave it 3 stars, which is, for me, 3 stars is I like it, but I'm probably not going to recommend it to anybody. And I am done trying to read Kristin Hannah. So for all my friends that are going to watch this, don't recommend another one to me. I'm not going to do it. Oh, and get this. When you and I were talking about Kristin Hannah, I remember I was like, let me read The Nightingale. I've never read it. I don't really like it. It's a beloved book. You go on Goodreads, this sucker's mostly 5 stars, right? I'm like, surely I'm missing something. Let me read this. So as I'm reading this book, I'm like, this sounds super familiar. And I would like play a game with myself. I'd be like, okay, I think this is going to happen next. And sure enough, it would happen. So I go into my Goodreads, but it's not on there. I love Goodreads. That's how I keep track of everything I read. And I didn't rate it. I didn't read it, whatever. And I'm like, I know I've read this. Well, I have also written on paper every book I've read since 2007. So I went and I grabbed my notebook and I read this in 2018, not that long ago. And I totally forgot. That tells you how much I love this book. It's on my 2018 list, and I couldn't remember it.
Yeah.
I love that you write down your books too.
Yeah, I got to keep a track, but from my aspect, I gave it 2.5 stars. I wouldn't and it's not one I'm going to pick up again. This definitely goes into I'm not going to reread it pile. I like it, but not enough. Like you said, I like it, but not enough to say, here, read this book. You're going to just, you know. But I agree with you. Not a fan. Just overall. And so that just and I would like to apologize.
I would like to apologize to all the Kristin Hannah fans out there who are throwing tomatoes at their screen right now at me, because I know people love her. They have strong feelings about how much they love her and how much they love this book. It's just not for me, and I don't hold it against you that you love it.
and right there with you. Don't I mean, I'm glad my wife loved it. My wife loved it, and if she loved a fiction book, that's saying something, because she doesn't like a whole lot of fiction. She is my wife is a majority nonfiction reader, but she liked it, and so I get it. But I think from you and I, it's just and again, I'm right there with you. Don't hate, don't be upset that we don't like it, because I know lots of people that gave it 5 stars. I know lots of people that loved it. It just didn't sit with me because of certain things. But overall, that's pretty good. Well, nobody gave us a book, so for this one, I just talked to you offline right before we started. So our next book, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be Neil Gaiman, American Gods. This is the one we'll be reviewing in about a month.
I like him.
American Gods. So feel free to read it along with us. Come back for the next show. But if you are out there watching and you want us to review another book, put it in the comments. I'll be loading this up onto YouTube the next couple of days. Put it in the comments, and if we pick the book that you want us to review, we'll give you $25 gift card to Barnes and Noble. So
Yay.
feel free to leave comments. Let us know what you think about how we did on the review. Did we miss something? Did we dash your hopes, or did we get it right? So let us know in the comments when you see this.
Yes, thank you. It was fun. I actually like reading. Okay, I'm a book quitter. Like, I usually give it 50 pages and then I'm like, I am done. So it was I plowed through, but I actually kind of liked reviewing a book that I didn't like. But now I want to like the next one. I really, really like everything I've read by Neil Gaiman. I have not read everything, but The Graveyard Book is one of my favorites. And he's just a really good author.
Yeah.
Good Omens, it's so good. So I'm excited about American Gods.
Yeah, this one is another one that's kind of been a TV, or it's been on Stars as a TV show. But you're right, Neil Gaiman, Anasazi Boys. I'll never say that word right, but if you're a comic book fan, Vertigo, he did Sandman, which is again, but Neil Gaiman is all over the spectrum, and like, Good Omens, man. Coraline, yes. So yeah, I'm excited about this one. But is there anything else that you want to say before we depart this evening?
No, it was a good conversation.
Yeah, it was.
Thank you.
I'm
Thank
glad
you for
that
having me. This is so fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, I think the best part is on this one is we kind of got to not contradict, but have different sides of what what we liked and what we disliked. So that was great. I loved it. Can't wait for the next one. Let me know offline what your next available date is, and we'll get going. But I hope you and Eric have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful Thanksgiving. I'll tell Eric I will see him on Tuesday night.
Thank you. Yep. All right. Bye, everybody.
All right. Thanks, guys, for coming out. That was a dash of reading. Please join along with us in the reading. If there's a book that you want, if you're friends with us, put it on her page, put it on my page. This will be uploaded to YouTube. Like I said, feel free to leave us a comment in the comment section of what book you want us to read. If we choose your book, you get $25. That's free. Free $25 if we choose your book. So from Amber and I, thank you for coming out tonight. Let us know how we did. And I hope everybody has a wonderful, wonderful Thanksgiving. And again, Tuesday night, NFL stuff. See how good Eric and I got this week's picks. But other than that, thank you so much. Come back and see us. Remember, take care of one another, love one another, and we'll see you next show.